Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the B segment of episode 29 of Codename Kids Next Door, Operation Robbers. We begin this segment with number 4, number 5, and several other kids waiting for the bus to arrive so that they can head to school. Number 5 inquires number 4 about his unusually good mood with regards to going to school today, and number 4 answers that he completed his spelling homework last night. Soon enough, the school bus arrives, but we see that this particular school bus actually bears a strong resemblance to a train. To be more specific, the front of the bus resembles the front of a train, and there are several carts attached to this bus, much like how there are several carts attached to a train. In any case, number 4 and number 5 enter the bus, and they eventually find an open seat within one of the carts of the school bus. And number 4 is explaining that he came up with new ways to spell words, and he's confident that this will lead to him getting a, as he puts it, super A+. Number 5 does not share number 4's confidence in this plan, and she figures that number 4's motivation for doing his spelling homework was because he has a crush on the new teacher, Mrs. Thompson. Number 4 denies this, insisting that his motivations were for the sake of education. However, the blush on his face indicates that number 5 has a point. Soon enough, the school bus sets off for school, but we soon see on a nearby cliff that there are 5 kids in Western-style outfits that are watching the school bus as it makes its journey towards the school. These 5 individuals are also riding these hover vehicles that bear strong resemblances to horses, and they also have 2x4 6-shooters that use gum as ammunition. Collectively, the group of kids are known as the 6 Gum Gang. Their individual names are Runt, Lunk, Dixie, Wilbur, and Goof. The 6 Gum Gang proceed to chase after the school bus on their hover vehicles, and they split up into different groups with regards to their plan to invade the school bus. Goof stays outside of the school bus, following after it in his hover vehicle, while Runt and Lunk invade the school bus through the back cart, while Dixie and Wilbur invade the school bus through the front cart. The 6 Gum Gang's reason for invading the school bus is because they want to steal the homework of all the students on board the school bus. Eventually, Runt and Lunk arrive in the cart where number 4 and number 5 are sitting in, and Runt proceeds to take number 4's homework. Runt comments about number 4's poor spelling, but number 4 insists that Runt simply doesn't know what good spelling is or good homework is, and Runt falls for this, saying that the boss or bosses were looking for good homework. Number 4 threatens Runt to return his homework, but Lunk threatens number 4 in return. Number 5 simply says that Lunk shouldn't threaten number 4. Lunk is willing to actually let number 5 keep her homework in exchange for a kiss. Number 5 refuses the offer, and she uses a 2x4 technology weapon known as the Splanker to knock Lunk out. Number 4 proceeds to chase after Runt, who exits the bus cart's interior and heads up to the rooftop of the school bus. Runt then jumps onto his hover vehicle, and he is next to Goof now. But number 4 actually steals Goof's hover vehicle, and Goof ends up stuck in a mailbox. So number 4 proceeds to chase after Runt using hover vehicles, while we see number 5 proceed to knock out Wilbur and Dixie as well. During the chase, number 4 ends up having to jump onto Runt's hover vehicle when Goof's hover vehicle crashes during the chase. And number 4 once again demands that Runt return his homework. Runt, however, shoots some gum into number 4's eyes, or onto number 4's eyes. So number 4 can't see right now, and while while number 4 is scrambling around trying to feel where he is right now, number 4 ends up hitting the accelerator of Runt's hover vehicle, which speeds up the hover vehicle naturally. Eventually, the school bus arrives at the school. The name is not actually revealed in the segment itself, but later entries reveal the school's name to be Gulliger Elementary School. But in any case, we see number 5 has tied up the rest of the 6 gum gang. That's right, including Goof, who is no longer stuck in a mailbox for whatever reason. But just as number 5 has brought all of the 6 gum gang members present to the front of the school bus and tied them all up, number 4 and Runt, still on the hover vehicle, end up crashing into the school bus. The gum is no longer on number 4's eyes right now, but the rest of the 6 gum gang managed to break free of the rope that they were tied up in, and the 6 gum gang gloat to the 2 Sector V operatives that they succeeded in stealing everyone's homework. Every student that was riding the school bus, they stole all of their homework. So the 6 gum gang retreat while laughing about their victory. Number 4 and number 5 are disappointed by this, but they have no choice but to head into class right now. In number 4 and number 5's class, we see Mrs. Thompson is disappointed in all of the students for allegedly not doing their homework, not knowing the true reason for why they don't have their homework on hand. Mrs. Thompson, however, said that there were students who did do their homework, and these students are none other than the delightful children from down the lane. The delightful children are all sitting at the same desk, or rather, one of the delightful children is sitting at the desk. It looks like the rest of them are just standing near the desk. But in any case, the delightful children claim that they enjoy doing homework so much that they did it multiple times, and Mrs. Thompson sees the stack of homework that the delightful children seemingly did. However, when Mrs. Thompson proceeds to look over the homework that's at the top of the pile, number 4 realizes that the homework she's holding is his homework. It turns out that the 6 gum gang had stole the homework on behalf of the delightful children. Number 4 is about to point out that that's his homework, but number 5 actually tells number 4 to be quiet, and we soon see why. Mrs. Thompson looks over number 4's homework, but thinking that it's the delightful children's homework, Mrs. Thompson proceeds to scold the delightful children for such poor homework, and she decides that the delightful children will stay after school and spell every single word in the dictionary as punishment for such poor homework. So number 5 is laughing about the delightful children's punishment, while number 4 is number 4 is feeling sad that Mrs. Thompson is calling his homework lousy without realizing that it's number 4's homework. And that's how we end this segment. So this segment stands out because this is the first entry in the series that actually focuses on school. I did mention before in previous videos that Tom Warburton had commented on at least one of his blog posts that he didn't want to focus on the home life or the school life of the Sector V operatives during the first season of Codename Kids Next Door. But as the series continued on, he was gradually willing to let the staff and crew members cover stories based on home life and school life for the Sector V operatives. We saw in Season 2, Season 2 was when the home life of the Sector V operatives became more pronounced in the series. Well, Season 3 is the season where the school life of the Sector V operatives became more prevalent in the series. And that's right, yes, the main focus, though, was actually on the school bus rather than Gallagher Elementary School. And I have to admit, I actually thought it was a pretty cool idea to have a school bus that acts like a train. And I say that as someone who, yeah, I've always liked trains since I was a little kid, so I really appreciated the idea of having the school bus resemble a train. I actually think it would have been cool to have, yeah, when I first saw this segment when I was younger, I always thought it would have been cool if school buses in real life were like trains, like they were in the series itself. So I did get a good laugh out of that. And this segment also introduces us to a few other characters who are important to the school setting now that the school setting has been opened up to the series. The segment focused on the Six Gum Gang. That's right, the villains of this segment were the main focus of the school setting related characters, the Six Gum Gang. And yes, this isn't the last time we've seen the Six Gum Gang. They'll go on to appear in later entries of the series. And as it was confirmed at the end of the segment, the Six Gum Gang are actually affiliated with the Delightful Children from Down the Lane. And they actually do go on to become more, yeah, in the first two seasons, the Ice Cream Men were really the minions of the Delightful Children from Down the Lane, or the most prevalent minions of the Delightful Children in the first two seasons, I should say. But starting with season 3, the Six Gum Gang are the ones who become the more prevalent minions of the Delightful Children, and that's mostly because of the school setting becoming, it's because of the school setting becoming a potential setting in future entries of the series. Now, the Ice Cream Men still do appear in the series. They actually don't disappear from the series, and they still do get some significant roles here or there in later entries of the series. But yeah, the Six Gum Gang kind of take over as the Delightful Children's major minions or major enforcers through the rest of the series, mostly through the school setting, of course. Now, besides the Six Gum Gang, there were some other school-related characters who debuted in this segment. Mrs. Thompson, one of the teachers of Gallagher Elementary School, appears in this segment, although she doesn't appear until the end of the segment. But she actually does go on to have a major role in some later entries of the series. And a little detail, there's actually a clue there's a little clue in the visuals in this segment and in later segments that kind of hint at Mrs. Thompson's more prevalent role, or the storyline that Mrs. Thompson will play a major role in. In this segment, Mrs. Thompson is shown wearing a ring on one of her fingers. Now, without saying too much, let's just say you're going to want to pay attention to Mrs. Thompson's hands or fingers in future entries compared to this entry of the series. Now, besides Mrs. Thompson, though, there actually was one other major character, or a character who will go on to be important in the school setting. He only appeared briefly in this segment, and he was the 4th grade class president. He appeared during the scene where number 5 confronted Dixie of the Six Gum Gang. And the segment itself and the credits don't actually reveal the 4th grade class president's name. The credits just call him class president. However, I might as well just mention it now. Later entries in the series reveal the 4th grade class president's name to be James Nixon McGarfield, and he's also called Jimmy some people call him Jimmy for short as well. But in any case, James Nixon McGarfield is actually going to play an important role in some later entries of the series, even though he only had a brief appearance in this entry of the series. But yeah, they're planting the seeds for future important events relating to the school setting. And actually, the next episode in the series is actually a full episode, and this full episode actually takes place within the school setting. So you could say that this segment actually was a good way to lead into the next full episode of the series. But otherwise, yes, I believe that's it for... one more detail is the situation with what happened with the Delightful Children having the Six Gum Gang steal everyone's homework, because this is a good example of a Pyrrhic victory, a situation where someone wins, but the cost is so great that winning might as well feel like losing. In this case, the Six Gum Gang succeed in stealing the kids on the bus's homework and giving it to the Delightful Children, who tried to pass off the homework as their own. Having said that, though, because of number 4's poor spelling, Mrs. Thompson actually punished the Delightful Children for their poor spelling. And so the Delightful Children may have succeeded in having their enforcers steal the homework, but they ended up paying the price because of number 4's poor spelling. So that's actually a pretty good example that they didn't end up being karma Houdinis. They stole the homework, but it ended up backfiring on them. And with regards to number 4 coming up with new ways to spell words, I did find it amusing because at one point he tried to insist that the number 4 is spelled differently in Australia. And it's amusing because there actually are certain words, there are certain words that actually are spelled differently in Australia compared to at least the United States. Like, I think Australia and the United Kingdom might share similar spelling themes. I'd have to look more into that, or maybe someone from Australia could verify that, but yes, there actually are some words that are spelled differently between different countries, or different countries with the same language might have different spelling preferences, and that's also the case with some pronunciation differences even among the same language, like accents or dialects from different regions. And also, loan words from different languages might be pronounced differently in other languages. And I guess I found that amusing because while number 4 clearly was spelling things wrong, or he was taking it to an extreme level, I do think number 4, it's funny because there actually are different spellings that are valid in real life, and there are different pronunciations as well. It just goes to show language isn't as black and white as some people seem to think it is, or that there are shades of gray to language that don't always get recognized by some individuals. Now, number 4 took it too far, but I still found it amusing because there is some elements of truth to it, even if number 4 was not using those elements of truth accurately. And, I guess I might as well mention it now. This is the segment where many fans feel that number 4, being the dumb muscle of Sector V, was started to become more pronounced. Most fans seem to think that number 4 in the first 2 seasons of the series was just more thick-headed or just didn't think things through all the way rather than being outright dumb. This is the segment where many fans feel that number 4's dumber qualities were played up more, and it does become more prevalent in later entries of the series as well. So there we go. Now we've covered everything that we've now covered everything that I feel warrants being discussed for this particular segment. But otherwise, yes, there we go for now. So as of this video, we've now discussed the B segment of episode 29 of Codename Kids Next Door on this channel. Take care, and until next time.